my mother drove us, and rather than us be able to walk. And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And why can't, for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation.
All right, what's going on, guys?
What's up?
You're
My what?
yeah, okay. You're muted. What's up?
Now, let me unmute this thing so y'all can hear me right quick. What kind of cancer does he have? Do we know?
All right. The White House explained it. He actually had skin cancer a while back ago. It's a non-melanoma skin cancer. But I don't know. My question is how you get non-melanoma skin cancer from being inside of a car where there's a streak of oil on the windshield. Yeah, that's my question. That's my question.
Yeah. What's up? We got some people in the comments here. Let's see. We got John McDonald. What's going on, John? That's a local. He's not too far from here. I know who that is. And then Nancy Drew. What's up? Misty Belcher and Hirsch Nope. Hi. What's up, everybody? Yeah. Glad y'all could come in here.
But you want to talk about, William, about the type of vehicles that they were driving back then that could have caused oil being on the windshield?
Oh, yeah, the remark was talking about how his mom said, or he said, my mom had to turn the windshield wipers on to get the oil slick off the windshield. And so, what he's doing is he's trying to, hype up vehicles' emissions to people that don't understand how newer engines differ from older engines. So when he made that statement, he was trying to get people to go, wow, vehicles are really dirty and they could leave oil streaks because I put oil in my car when I get it changed. And so what people don't understand is that vehicles now are nowhere near what engines were back then. They are so well designed now. And to be honest with me, that they're actually kind of like behind in technology that seems to be repressed. But what we are using and what we have nowadays is far superior. All the vehicles we have on the earth right now, we actually have cleaner air than we've ever had, aside from them riding big old jets. Like what was it? That Kardashian chick took a 13-minute jet ride the other day just because she didn't want to ride from like a half an hour from one place to another. Did y'all see that article where she?
Yeah, it was like an hour. It was like an hour trip or something like that.
Yeah. And she's going to get mad because somebody running an old Ford truck. I love running my old Ford truck whenever I got my daily driver's a 76 Ford F100 short bed with a little 302 and a 2-barrel. And I put gas in that thing and people look at me like I'm nuts. But their hybrid, this is an oxymoron. They make a hybrid Suburban.
Yeah.
That is like, to me, that's like putting tits on a man, isn't it? Because it's a Suburban. It's what are you trying? I want a Suburban.
You have a way with words, William.
Yeah. I mean, thank y'all.
But I want to take a look at this article. If you look at one of the tweets that's in it,
yeah,
it's hilarious because the guy thinks like you're stupid. We're all a bunch of idiots for thinking that because he's saying he has cancer. He doesn't use it in past tense as had. He says have.
Yeah,
that's present tense. Okay, I'm dyslexic, but I know that if you say have, that means it's happening right now.
Well, if
it's in the past, that means it has had.
So do you know that Webster's dictionary just caved again to the left and are now going to not specify male and female by the XY chromosome, that they're actually going to say that it's as long as they've done a quote unquote transition? Did y'all see that article? Anybody?
I didn't see it. No, but I'm not surprised.
Yep. Well, they changed the definition of that word. It starts with a V.
Yeah. Well, they Democrats change the definition of words all the time. I mean, they like the word liberal. These people aren't liberal; they're progressives.
Yeah,
they're progressives.
It's another verbiage of that, isn't that leftard or Liberotard.
Libtard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Libtard. There you go.
Libtard.
That Laura Fox, and no, who is that? Laura Loomer? Which one says that from Fox News? Libtards.
Yeah, Libtard.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I can't remember either. But I got another article here that kind of cracked me up. It's a protest that's going on when Biden is in. I can't remember where he was at, but there's a video in it. It's hilarious. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Your mouse is sure is awful loud. I'm messaging. I'm getting my wife. She'll get in here and she's going to come in here. She likes to hang out with us. Got that loud mouse over there. What is that? One of those Obama mouses they give you? Remember whenever they switched over to you remember when they got rid of regular television and they were switched over to the digital? They were like, yeah, all you got to do is send this here in, and we'll give you a free digital converter box. Y'all remember that?
Slightly.
Oh yeah. I second that middle finger and boo.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Hello.
That's just gold right there.
Dumbass.
What gets me is these vans that you see coming across here. That's the people they're bringing to the event.
Yeah.
You know, the Democrats, Biden administration actually paid these people to get in these vans, and they pay for transportation and everything to get them to there. Just look how many vans there are. There's 2 so far. Just keep on watching. 3. 4.
There's probably some of that too.
There's another one. No more coming.
7.
You know, it'd be funny if a bunch of people rode up on bicycles and laid down on the ground. Right, that'd be good. The Biden, have y'all seen that where they do the Biden like the bicycle? This little
Yeah,
yeah, I've seen that.
Doing where they're falling on the ground in the same place he did.
Like there's even like what somebody did to put a meme together, and you can tell what they done. They took and like cut a bunch of kids that were like where they fell off their bicycles and put them like they were side by side, and made it look like in the drive. Like even the kids are doing it now, and there's like kids all laid out. We are so good at our memes. The left cannot touch our meme game.
Yep.
Yeah, Matt's you've been cranking them out lately, dude. I'm like, wow, done really well.
I like that last one I put out with the dump truck.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was
I
a
haven't
good
had
one.
a chance today. I have not had a chance to do a lot of tubing today. It's been a hectic day in the shop, folks. My goodness, let me tell you what, hot and hectic. Phone ringing and like nothing, dude. Getting parts nowadays. See, I remember a day where I would call the parts people and I would give them the year model of the vehicle, and the people that worked there had a high enough IQ that they understood what their job was and how to do it. So they would get me the right part. And the supply chain was good enough to where it would usually be there. But let me tell you what, dude, that is not the case right now. Getting parts for vehicles is almost as hard as getting, like, you remember you used to have to buy a part for your riding lawnmower and they want you to bring the model number, serial number, motor number, the belt number, the old belt if you got it, and you get it home and it still wasn't the right stuff. Well, it's just like that now with cars. So you can imagine what it's like in the world of lawnmowers. Yep. That's my hell.
Well, I got another one about Biden and his little announcement today about his getting COVID. So
Check this out. Two articles or two. I don't know if you can find it in the middle of all this. Would be the woman who is fussing out BLM because they're protesting in front of her house about the dude that was shot and killed because that dude was shooting at her. That's a really powerful video. And another one that I've seen that was really good was Klaus Schwab talking about how they were going to wrap open up this big, huge tarp out in space to block the sun. That's what he's planning on doing.
It's that
crazy
bubble thing. It's not going to work. Yeah, that's
no, it's not even that. It's not the fact that it's not going to work. What's the adverse if you like shade the earth from sun, while like you're gonna mess up a balance. You're going to throw something out of whack. It's not designed to work. They're just designed to see what kind of impact it's going to have. And so that's if you can find it, it's on Gateway Pundit.
Let's go ahead and show this real quick, and then we'll get to some. The video you're talking about, it's all over Twitter. That one and both of them are all over Twitter. But I like the one with Jane Goodall. I don't know if you saw that video, but
no, I haven't.
But let's go ahead and show this one. With
catch me up. I'm going to sit back here, y'all. I'm going to relax. Here we go. All right, here we go. Long day, folks. Woo.
All right. Folks, I'm doing great. Thanks for your concern. Just call Senator Casey, Congressman Cartwright, and Mayor Kennedy, and my Scranton cousins to send them my regrets for missing our event today. It's because he has COVID, guys. It's because he has COVID.
And they went, and they what did you see where they
what?
Did you see where Carrie Jean Pierre got questioned about where he could have got it from? And she was like, I don't know, and it don't matter, and it's none of your business, and how long he had it. And he's been all over. He was down there and daggone giving the fist bumps to the. You reckon they're trying to take out the Saudi Arabia prince with a COVID bomb? Oops, I shouldn't say that. Allegedly. Oh no, we're not on Rumble. I better be careful. Yeah, so go ahead, play that thing. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Hey, folks, guess you heard this morning I tested positive for COVID, but I've been double vaccinated. Symptoms are mild, and I really appreciate your inquiry and your concerns. But I'm doing well. I'm getting a lot of work done. I'm going to continue to get it done, and in the meantime, thanks for your concern, and keep the faith. It's going to be okay.
Keep the what? Faith that you live? Am I supposed?
That's what I'm afraid of.
The only thing keeping us wanting him to live is we know that Kamala Harris is next in line. You better be glad that she's the
and
one
beyond her is Nancy Pelosi.
Yes, exactly. You know, you better be glad that you got a diversity hire at least twice over, because we would really. I mean, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, dude. You better be glad that it's Kamala Harris that would be stepping up. That's why there was I seen a poll on YouTube. Somebody's like, hey, you think they should impeach Biden and all that? What do you think? And I was like, you know what? That's a really good question to ask, because I can't even answer it. I even had to comment. I said, I don't want to say yes or no, because of the fact that if they do, then it's Kamala Harris. If they don't, it's Biden. This is just like, it's like a maze with no out. You can't get out. You're just going to run around it until you run out.
Well, they know they can't run them in 2024. They know that. And it's pretty bad when a party has nobody they can run. I mean, think about it. They're looking at everything. They can't run Kamala. They can't run Pelosi. They can't run anybody.
So check this out. You're right, 100%. But this comment from A, I like your name, A. He's like, I ain't putting a whole lot into this. I just want to get on YouTube, guys. So mine just A. All electric motors produce ozone, which is deadly. So, I don't know. I know that there's ozone machines, and they work off high voltage, and they pretty much it's left over from the combustion. Whenever a spark takes place from one point to another, there's a certain amount of air that's burned up, and you get a byproduct off of it. And I don't know. I know they have ozone machines, so I don't know if it's deadly or not. But there is some kind of chemical that's released off of a brushed type electric motor. Now I don't think that a brushless one wouldn't be the case, but a brush type would. Where you see the arc.
You know, back in the late 80s, early 90s, they were the Democrats were all up in arms about the ozone layers starting to disappear. We're going to burn to death from the sun and so on and so forth. Before that, it was global cooling. Now it's then it became more global warming after the ozone layer. Now it's climate change. It keeps changing. The reason it keeps changing is because they need stuff to fit their narrative for it to work for them. And they also are trying to push this climate narrative to take away people's rights and also government's rights. And they want to have a one world government. That's what the WEF is want to do. That's what a lot of these countries want to do.
Yeah, they will do it.
By the way, By the way, today I saw Brian Seltzer. He got his butt handed to him in a handbasket by the originator of the Weather Channel. They were talking. He was talking about the climate. He said, "That's a crock of crap." He goes, "He said, I mean, this guy's got to be 88 years old." He says, "A crock of crap." He said, "There's absolutely nothing going on with this climate control." He said, "It only is there to fit their narrative." He says, "Nothing's going on with this." And this is the guy who developed this. Is the guy that was with NASA and all that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Well, you would think that if they're worried about the ozone being thinned down, they wouldn't run a thing called a HAARP machine where it actually is designed to do that by heating the atmosphere so that it disperses so that you can actually see through it. They claim that they do that for satellite interaction with straight line beams so they can, get a really good trajectory on satellites and use telescopes. But there's a whole lot more stuff that goes on behind.
Oh yeah, you're looking at what they call the open window. They need a window in order to enter and to exit the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
So in other words, if there are all these holes up there, why would they have to wait for 2 weeks or 3 weeks to find a window to send another rocket out?
Yeah.
There's your answer right there.
Yeah.
If there were that many holes in the atmosphere, then they'd be able to do it daily, but there isn't.
Yeah. Well, trying to send a straight line radio frequency beam from one satellite to another is also difficult through our atmosphere because it sort of refracts and all that. And so that's another thing. That's what their main deal was, is just communication. They said communication. That way we can, what's funny is since all this climate change stuff that's came about, there used to be really, really good in-depth articles on what HAARP machine can and can't do. And if you have any knowledge of RF, radio frequency, electromagnetic pulses, and how sort of things like not a high knowledge, just a little basic knowledge, you could really actually put pen and paper and see where these theories would be correct, because they don't claim any of this stuff. You have to kind of there's people that say this is what it's capable of, and there's conflicting comments, and the conflicting comments sound like BS because and what it's capable of is way further than what they're actually labeling it out to be. And that's just one of many machines that they're running around this whole place right now on the Earth itself. And so the stationary ones aren't the only ones. They have these machines now where they can actually, they're implemented on large aircraft, and they can manipulate the effect of the HAARP machine by being at a certain altitude already in the atmosphere itself, because they're trying to reach a certain level of our atmosphere and tickle just a certain part. It has a lot more than just thinning it out, creating a space to see through, or a straight line for a satellite beam. What goes up in our atmosphere, radio waves, comes back down. There is a lot of things that can happen whenever you use real low frequencies that are RF that can penetrate really deep. Think about that. Whenever it goes up and comes back down, low frequency, what do they use for underground? When they look for oil and they look for things underground, they use ELF waves, ultra low frequency waves. You know what I'm talking about? They have a machine that they roll across the ground, and the guy can kind of look at a pretty good depth into the soil and get a reading off of that. You know what I'm talking about?
We know.
Okay. Okay. Well, anyhow, they could use that same technique and use a satellite that takes a picture from the Earth from the outside of in space. As they implement the machine, it comes up and they can take pictures of all kind of underground structures. Just ELF waves on the human body itself has its own detrimental effect. So, that's really, when they started dabbling with that stuff in the 90s, that's really where I started being like, wow, things just aren't what they should be. There's a lot more to meets the eye when they claim certain things, or they say this is what the purpose of this is. You've got to look a whole lot deeper to that. When they say for the People's Act, that was where they were trying to federalize elections. Yeah. Dude, that is anything but for the people. Hold on a minute now.
Now, let me go ahead and show you that video from Jane Goodall and what she said. Do you know who Jane Goodall is?
Oh yeah, she's that zoological lady.
Yeah. Do you know who she is, William?
No, I don't. I am in the dark.
She's been with National Geographic for many, many years.
They did a movie about her and her work with gorillas.
With the apes, yeah.
Seems like I may remember when I see her. Oh, I'm going to see here.
She looks a little bit older now.
Years ago. We cannot hide away from human population growth because, it underlies so many of the other problems. All these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago. We cannot hide away.
So she wants to depopulate too, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's most of them.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about what she did in Africa, she spent some time living with the gorillas.
Mhm.
Think about that one.
Oh yeah, she wasn't lonely neither.
No, I don't think she was too lonely. But
You reckon that's
taking
where they? Do you think that there's any chance that that's how that Jesse Smollett guy came to be?
All right. I got the video with the bubble shit.
Is that too much? Did I go too far? You like that? Maybe, probably.
the bubble.
It sounds like they're trying to. That's a really good way to knock off a bunch of people through a geological disaster because of the extreme difference in temperature that has never occurred in that part of the Earth. They want to get to a certain spot right there where it heats the Earth the most and cool that spot off the most.
That would be the equator.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah.
where they're wanting to kind of get that thing at, and that would be a geological disaster 101. Yep.
Well, it could be. Yeah. I mean, I think they've been watching too much Star Trek.
Well, that, or better yet, they're trying to actually experiment on how they could do that on Mars. Like they need to geoengineer Mars. So like what we need to do is figure out what effects happen if we make our own atmosphere around a certain spot of the Earth and start causing an effect to see what the outcome is. And then we can try this on Mars. But if we mess up Earth, and it'd be all right. People had to die anyway.
I don't know. Fooling with Mother Nature is something I don't think we should really do.
Oh no. Because just like when you tap water on a pond, if you'll notice how you starts off with a small ripple, then it can span a long ways. One little tap, and you've affected a large area as it carries on out. Sometimes it has to be in time, but yeah, no, messing with Mother Nature like that, anything that it's just something. I mean, obviously, they're trying to depopulate, and they're trying to do it in a way where people don't see it. They're trying to disguise it as a way to fight climate change. And we all know, you and I, if anybody's watching this, we all know that what the deal is. But there's a lot of normies out there. Like when I asked this one guy, I said, do you think that Bill Gates, what do you think about Bill Gates? And his immediate response was he didn't even think. It was like his go-to answer because he's had to contemplate this stuff in his head so many times that he's decided to settle on this one factor because MSNBS told him so. He looked over at me real fast and he said, well, he's not evil. That's what he told me. And I thought that was a really interesting way to answer a question because I said, what do you think about Bill Gates? He said, I think he's not evil. So normally you would say, I think he's a good dude or he's evil or something, or I don't know. This is a weird way.
Well, what do you think of him, John?
As far as I'm concerned, Bill Gates is a slime ball. Literally. Nothing but a slime ball. I mean, I've heard about Bill Gates all the way. Bill Gates is the same age as I am, literally. And I still remember being younger, Bill Gates this, and I remember Microsoft. I remember having to pay X amount of dollars, and we're thinking about, oh, that'll be great. Wait till somebody else develops another one of these Microsoft programs, another Windows program, and we don't have to pay as much money. Wrong. He figured it out, so he owns the thing forever. And I mean, some of those were up to $100 and some odd for some of the Windows and stuff. I mean, the guy has been money hungry the whole time. And then he built that house in the mountains, hollowed out a mountain. I mean, the guy's been eccentric and crazy ever since the beginning. But, it's just, he has no business in that. And then we've all found out that he's been buying up land in the farms in America. He's been doing the same here in Brazil. He wants to control the world. And he's finding out that he's got about 5 or 6 other people that want to control themselves. George Soros to be with one. And I mean, this is absolutely crazy. And I guarantee you, each one of those high players all hate each other. They all hate each other with a passion. And when Elon Musk comes into the picture, that gives them a central picture to a person to actually really hate, literally to really hate.
You brought up George Soros, which is a fond topic of mine because of the fact that he's a person that has to be exposed, and to a really large degree. Do you know who right now is bumping elbows with old George Soros and putting money in the Beto O'Rourke's campaign? Did an article on this, but I don't know if y'all saw it or anything. Maybe, probably, but it's that Gwyneth Paltrow, the same chick who was selling cooter smelling flowers, a candle. She'd buy, here's a candle. It smells like my cooter. You want to buy it for $100? And people would buy it. No joke. I'm sorry. No. I don't know
anyone that names their kid Apple, which I always wonder if it's spelled Apple or is it the symbol of Apple? You know.
Well, which one is? Wait till like somebody really names.
She's crazy.
Somebody actually really names their kid but not at but that funny looking A. Like somebody's going to do that one day. Whenever you go to school, and be like, "What's your name?" At, and they'll be like, "How do you spell that?" They'll go with a backwards A, and I'll be like, "That's the thing for Gmail." Yeah, I'm famous.
William. Yeah, William, I got a question for you. You very busy tomorrow?
Man, Well, what you got?
I was thinking you might have a few minutes to go down to the courthouse and change your name to at.
Dude, it's a great idea. So like you liked my response to "Are you really busy tomorrow?" Right? Did you notice my response to that? It was real vague and open. That way, I had a way that maybe possibly needed that. Around here, if you're right bit handy, people will call you for everything and anything. So you'll learn real fast. When they ask you, "Hey man, what are you doing?" Or first thing you do, you'll be like, "No, I ain't doing nothing, man. Hey man, you come over here. We're moving, so can you bring the truck, the trailer, and everybody? We'll get some stuff out of this trailer. We got to get it moved into the storage and all. I got to get there. What's going on? They're locking that place at 4:30. You're like, so you'll learn real fast when somebody asks you that. Go, "Oh man, yeah, what you got going on there and all?" And they'll be like, then they hit you with the, "I'll need this, that, and there, and all and whatnot." Yeah, you learn fast around these parts. As Stephanie's like always, yeah, I know. She's been there. She's like, "What's up, Bill?" Yeah, and Shannon's out here. Shannon, lots of love, man. Sorry, he called me while we were live, and I couldn't answer his phone.
Yeah, he called me too. I was like, "Oh, I can't answer that."
Yeah,
but about Bill Gates and George Soros and Schwab and all those other guys, they think they're God. That's the reason the ideas like this bubble idea.
And they're stupid
stuff like that. They think they have as much power as God does, and that's the reason they want to do what they're doing. They're trying to control everything, like micromanage it.
Yeah, looking at Klaus Schwab, it looks like to me he is like suffering from severe erectile dysfunction. So how could he even try to call himself a god? It's just not possible.
I don't know. It just does not make sense. When you start to get in your 80s, at least you could stop and think if you only had $10 million as opposed to the billions that these guys have got, you think about, hey, maybe it's kind of nice and maybe I'll sit and go on a vacation. I'll take 5 cruises per year until I die, some 2 weeks, whatever. And I've always wanted to see the Rocky Mountains. In other words, the things that you wanted to do, you now can afford to do them. Do them now. I mean, but these guys think they're going to live forever. That goes all the way back to what was his name with the spruce goose? Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes is in cryogenics. He's supposed to be brought back someday if they can ever find out what killed him, which of course was heart disease. I mean, this is crazy. They've been there for the last 50 years. And I imagine these guys are going to be the same thing.
Think about
they want to live forever.
Does anybody know who Peter Nygaard is? You've ever heard that name? Does that sound familiar?
Nagar.
No.
No.
Nygaard, Peter Nygaard. Okay.
Yeah.
This guy is one of the ones that's big involved in, I'm going to say it, the adrenochrome. I'll say it. It feels so dirty to say that because YouTube's like, no. But check this out. He was a big investor. He's got tons and tons of money. He has these like big parties on aircraft where he has these really, really young girls, and he tries to offer them money to let him get them, artificially inseminated so that they can have a baby and they can take the baby. And it's a certain DNA that he wants to use and make baby oil out of it. That's good enough for it. That's it. Yeah. And so if anybody's got any time on Rumbles, get on Rumbles and look up Peter Nygaard. This dude is like 76 years old, and it shows pictures of him when he started getting into this stem cell research is what he calls it. He's a big stem cell research guy. And he said this stem cell research has made a big difference in his youth and vitality because he wants to live forever. This is what this guy says. I am not making this up. Those are words I'm quoting out of his mouth. He wants to live forever, and he's going to figure out a way to, or die trying. So everything he does, and he's geared into, big into the human trafficking scheme, big, well known with a lot of the Epsteins. Gets these girls on flight so that he's not. It makes it a gray area for legal things. Has these babies, pays them for them, then has the stem cell research done. Then it's used to treat him. And there's videos and pictures of him, and he was 55. I think he was a clothing designer beginning. Nice, because it's been a while since I read the article and watched the video. But he was a clothing designer. Shows him in his 50s and 60s and how you can see him deteriorating. And then it shows him at 75 years old, busting out 50 push-ups, weight loss, muscle build, and looks like, and he's thick hair, and he's like he's reversing his age at 75. It's a big thing, man. His name is Peter Nygaard. So that right there will give you an open window of why the industry for scooping out babies is so important, why that's so lucrative, and why they don't want to get rid of it, because they need that for other things too. Because those lizard people's got to live too. You know what I'm saying? Look at Matt over there going, dang, son of a gun. I got this guy on my.
Well, it's just not mine. It's yours too, bud.
Oh, yeah, we're good though. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But it can't be any worse than what we heard Matt listening to before we got live. That's
okay.
All right. No. Don't go there.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and get in the conversation about what's the difference between a bump stock and an armband.
Go ahead,
Matt. A slingshot and an assault rifle, and it's due with a slingshot, with the little thing that leans against your arm.
First thing, let's go ahead and show the bump stock real quick. Let me go and show you guys that. That is a bump stock, okay?
Yep.
And they want to outlaw any gun, or they want to outlaw actually a bump stock. That's what part of that bill is about, getting rid of a bump stock, because they're saying it makes the gun more tactical and more dangerous. That is their argument.
Dangerous for who, though?
For the individuals that they're shooting at, they think they're saying it makes it. They're saying it makes it into an assault rifle, which I've seen shotguns with pistol grips. It's still a shotgun. It pumps. It only has 5 cartridges, and that's it.
Well, what it is like they're looking at it like that thing looks awful like dangerous, and they're thinking to themselves, I'm sitting there, well, who's it dangerous for? Is it, for the, and it'd be for somebody who is doing something they shouldn't be doing to you. And so who would that be? Would it be some of those Tifa-tards coming at you? Like, you can't have that. You can't have that to defend yourself from these people coming in and burning down your poor little trailer. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody catch my drift?
Oh yeah. They're trying to make something out of nothing. It's only, in other words, what they've been doing all along with everything that they've bothered to touch. They're trying to find a little edge or a niche to get in. They want to get something on to get the ball rolling for gun control. And for instance, like with the semi-automatics versus fully automatics. There's no way. I saw an article the other day deal with with a guy who came back from the military. His weapons were he put them away. In other words, because they're illegal. But yet he's starting to talk about, hey, you still have to squeeze the trigger. And he said, what difference does it make if you squeeze it 5 times or 2 times, or you've got a revolver in your hand and you go click, click, boom, boom, boom. He said, I can shoot 5 shots or 6 shots inside of 3 seconds. He said, just boom, boom, boom. He said, that's how quick my trigger finger is. He said, so that is actually faster than an automatic. So they're just looking for a niche to get in there someplace where they can say, well, we got a victory now on gun control. Now we're going to go after something else. But it's the same old garbage. There's nothing to it. They're trying to make some. It's like with this with the January 6th garbage that they're trying to put out. I'm not even going to call it the insurrection anymore. It's just it's the show. It's the Pelosi Cheney show. It's garbage. That's what they're doing. Is they're trying to find anything. They're not even after Trump anymore with that garbage. Now they're down to Steve Bannon. I mean, come on.
You know what? They don't want to mess with Steve Bannon. He's worse than Trump.
Well, they're getting every bit of them now. Every bit of them.
Yeah, but he's got a plan. It'll be all right. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm glad that they decided to grab the rattlesnake by the tail.
Yeah.
That's what they've got right now.
Because it won't be nothing at all if they want to impose any kind of charges. Right now, just talking ain't nothing. So what they're going to do is they know that if they actually put charges on them, then it has to be a legitimate court and it is over with. It's a done deal. And all you got to do is go play AOC's thing where Alex Stein trolled her, and then she went off that evening and pretty much said the narrative of the January 6th being not exactly what everybody thinks it is. That's
right. They opened the doors for him. She opened up the whole can of worms.
Yep. Because
can of worms.
That means that she needs to be there too. Because if nothing else, she was almost raped, so she needs to be there and testify, and she needs to be asked questions and all that stuff. Yeah, and the fake arrest. That, you know what's funny? I didn't really do much on it because I didn't want to give it the attention that she thought it deserved. But it was enough people that seen it was such a fake arrest that they actually had to take down all that stuff. It's not working. It's not holding up. She got on her Twitter and be all like, I don't understand all this and everything and all. And everybody's like, we don't believe you. That's why. And your fake bot account is the only one propping you up. What's up, Eureka? Oh, yeah.
Well, the thing I noticed about the protests they were doing, all of them had those green armbands, which means they're communist. That means they're with the Communist Party. And my reaction was like, why ain't anyone even talking about that or even saying anything about that part? I didn't talk about it because I didn't notice it at first, but then I watched the videos and you check them out. Every single one of them has a green armband. Yeah. Which means they're part of the Communist Party at that point.
Well, have you guys noticed that something has been ever since this is the last year and a half? Never do you hear of anything from even the leftist organizations complaining about being called leftist, being called communist, Marxist, all those words. You can call them all those names and they accept every one of those names. They never bark about it. The only thing they bark back, well, you're a MAGA, or whatever. That's all they say, but they don't deny it. Well, there's no denial.
I have to correct them, though. I'll be like, I am not MAGA. They'll be like, no. I said, no, I'm not MAGA. I said,
Ultra MAGA.
Yeah. Yeah. Punch Buggy can't talk back to Punch Buggy. We talk together,
But I want to show this clip of Massey explaining what's the difference between a bump stock and a arm brace. So let's go ahead and check it out.
Strike the last word.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I rise in opposition to the amendment. What this stabilizing brace, which is depicted here, when
that's a stabilizing brace, okay, not a bump stock. Doesn't even look like a bump stock.
Yeah, I know. You can see it.
It's for old people.
Yeah, well, it's for people with disabilities.
Attached here, it turns this weapon. Move to strike the last word.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Chairman,
that one time
I rise in opposition to the amendment. What this stabilizing brace, which is depicted here, when attached here, it turns this weapon.
Look at your internet all messed up. Isn't that one guy that's the one that like, isn't that Larry Nadler? Which one is the one that shit himself on when they were standing at the podium? He was stepping down. It was last year.
The one with the glasses. That's Larry Nadler. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. He was like, he went to go step down. I was like, he made that face. You remember that where he was and picked it up over the microphone? Oh, that was good stuff. Oh boy, and everybody that was standing around him heard it too, and they had to act like it didn't happen and stuff. That's all I remember that guy by. I mean, no joke. When I see that guy, I was like, that's that dude to shit himself. I mean, you know,
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I'm not going there.
Yeah, look at
The
what Shannon.
Democrats are so
I got
zealous
it
in
back up
their
and going.
rush to ban everything related to guns and every gun that exists that I'm afraid Mr. Cicilline has his gun features mixed up. He just described the arm brace, which is used by people who have a handicap to help fire a pistol. He just described it as a bump stock. It's neither a stock nor a bump stock. And I think it's important that if you're going to ban these things, that you actually understand what you're banning. That is the picture that he showed, everybody needs to know, is not a bump stock. It's an arm brace for firing a pistol from the wrist. And it's not made to increase the rate of fire of the firearm. It's not made to simulate automatic fire. It's made to stabilize the grip of a pistol. And that's all it does. And if anybody else wants me to yield time to them, I will. I'll yield to the amendment sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Massey. I just wanted to point out that, yes, you've got a photo there, but this is what we are actually talking about. We are talking about a piece of equipment that stabilizes the arm that is used by the disabled and our disabled veterans to help more safely hunt. And it does not turn it into an automatic weapon. It does nothing but stabilize the weapon for them. So.
Mr. Cicilline's a dumbass.
Yep. Yeah. It's important to, if you're going to start taking people's freedoms, how about knowing what you're talking about? I mean, that's just how they think about us. You know, as far as like, their freedoms are so insignificant to them that they're willing to take them just because it just sounds like a good thing to do. Like, yeah, you know, just take it from them. They don't need that. That's their attitude. It doesn't matter what that is. I mean, that's just, then, you know, the thing is like, do you think for 1 second that shields them from that happening to them later on? Is it always going to go their way?
It shouldn't. I'll tell you, just like that Indiana mall shooting, that guy said within 15 seconds or so, he was able to pull his gun, and they say he could have saved, by what they scanned around and saw how many people were in the vicinity, he might have saved as many as 30 to 40 lives.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is totally amazing. I mean, one death is bad, but think about that. And then the left is coming up now and starting to say, like, well, he's a criminal because he took his gun into a no-gun zone area. Well,
so
all that's going
to shot the people. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Matt, is there any way you can find that video of that woman fussing out?
Well, I got another video with Cicilline and Massey getting into it again about something else. It was an interesting conversation. Let me go ahead and bring it up.
And if I may respond to that, Mr. Chairman, if they went down, which
there we go. You got
The
it.
lady yields back for purposes of the gentleman from Kentucky seek recognition.
I move to strike the last word.
Gentleman is recognized.
This bill is unserious and unconstitutional. But we'll get into the unconstitutionality of it later during the debate as we offer amendments. But let me talk about the unseriousness of it. And some of what I'm about to show you may come as a surprise to the other side of the aisle. And you may want to go back and redraft it again. I don't know. But the 1994 to 2004 so-called assault weapons ban banned firearms by cosmetics and by name, much the same as this bill does, cosmetics and by name, without regard for the actual lethality of the firearm. And what happened between 94 and 2004 is the manufacturers, within a year or two, just changed the names and the designs of the firearms so that by 1996, they were making them all again. And then by 2004, there were at least twice as many of these types of firearms in circulation as there were before the ban. So I don't know how you make the argument that the 94 to 2004 ban reduced crime because it reduced the number of assault weapons, so-called, because it didn't reduce the number.
Gentlemen, yield for a second? Just for a
I
second.
will here in a little bit. I've got some other points I need to make. So the other side of the aisle says, this bill will ban weapons of war. Really? Will it? Let's look at the exempted list. You guys might want to get out the bill and check this. It exempts the M1 Garand. I'm going to read you. So you can still, after this bill passes, you can own an actual weapon of war. What they're calling weapons of war are not weapons of war. They're sporting rifles, but what they're not banning are the actual weapons of war. The M1 Garand is not banned by this bill. And in a letter to General Campbell from General Patton says, in my opinion, the M1 rifle is the greatest battle implement ever devised. Guess what? Not banned in this bill. The actual weapon of war. What else isn't banned in this bill? The quintessential Chinese Army weapon of war. The SKS is not banned by your bill. Very charitable to allow people to own this piece of Cold War history. Here's the Chinese Army practicing drills with one of the weapons they're most proud of, which is the SKS. Not banned in this bill. An actual weapon of war. The bill does ban sporting firearms, though. What do we have here? Well, the gun they're primarily going after in this bill is the AR type firearm, which stands for Armalite, not assault rifle. It shoots this cartridge, .223. It was designed so that it was lighter weight. And frankly, it's not even suitable. I mean, some people use it to deer hunt, but it's not the preferred caliber for deer hunting. This is the cartridge that is used by the M1 Garand, which is not banned by this bill. It's many times more powerful. Let's talk about another weapon of war. What do we have here? This is Iwo Jima. This is the M1 carbine, also not banned by this bill. A technical, literal weapon of war. Yes, they're over there whispering to themselves, oh my gosh, why didn't we ban that? Why didn't we think to ban that? Because you're not banning weapons of war. You're banning the most commonly sold sporting rifle in the United States right now. You're not banning weapons of war. If you were serious about it, you would ban the quintessential Chinese weapon of war. You would ban the rifle that General Patton described as the finest battle implement ever devised. You would ban it, but you're not. And you would ban the M1 carbine that was used to take Iwo Jima, but you're not. You're not banning weapons of war. You're banning firearms that law-abiding people who are just exercising their Second Amendment rights go out and buy and purchase every day and use to defend their families.
Would the gentleman now yield?
And with that, I yield back.
Would the gentleman yield?
I'll yield to the chairman, and I would love it if
Thank
he
you.
could tell us why he didn't ban weapons of war in a bill that's supposed to.
I just want to point out that whatever the weaknesses of the 1994 bill, gun deaths went down by 25% promptly, and when the bill was allowed to lapse, they went right back up.
And if I may respond to that, Mr. Chairman, if they went down, which they probably did because crime overall went down during that period, it wasn't because the number of assault rifles went down. They actually went up from 94 to 2004. I yield back.
Oh, big old burn, big. Oh, yes. Because what happened is they were working on the build. I remember when that happened. And let me tell you how the SKS how it got banned. It used to, you could buy an SKS with a pistol grip already, wooden stock, ready to roll. Well, this dude climbs the White House fence to go into the White House, has an SKS. There went the SKS. Boom. Y'all remember that?
Yep, I remember that.
Okay, so check this out. One more. Do y'all remember the homeless guy who duct taped machetes to his hands and went over the fence to go into the White House? You remember that, right?
I don't remember that. I remember.
That's when they closed it off after that, because that was the second breach of the fence when that happened.
Well, I want to mention the reason crime went down after 94 is because the 94 crime bill that allowed them to actually start arresting people that pretty much tactics they using in New York and everything else, where they're doing searches on people without having cause. That's what made crime go down. It wasn't
still running rampant. They just didn't arrest anybody.
Well, no, they're arresting people like crazy, dude. That's a time period where they had more people in jail than any other time ever in the United States.
I remember in April 12th, 1992. Was whenever somewhere right around those Rodney King time. Remember that? And it was that because there was a band called Sublime that wrote a song called April 12th.
Why can't we all get along?
Well, the song was April 12th, 1992, and he talks about where that's because that was when the riots were popping off in Los Angeles, and the lead singer of that group actually was involved in the riots as a protester. And stole the guitar that he's playing on that song. He's like, how do you think I'm playing the guitar right now? He stole it out of the pawn shop April 12, 1992. If anybody's a Sublime fan, they'll know what I'm talking about. Matt's over there like, Star Wars. Yeah.
I thought you still had more to say, but okay.
Yeah, I did too.
That's why
I did too.
I was waiting on you and his reaction to if y'all knew who that even was or anything about the song, but apparently we just
Sublime?
Yeah,
that's a little bit after my time. That's you got to get.
Only by choice, by the way. That is only by choice. If you decide to just sit back and wear your
William, I don't listen to gangster rap.
That's not gangster rap.
Whatever happened to Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons? Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra.
You still got the same corduroy pants that you bought brand new from JCPenney in 1986, don't you?
You got it.
Made it from America. Now, if you don't, that's fine. What kind of pants are you wearing now, by the way?
Shorts. The same ones I had 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I made a pair of cut-off shorts out of some sweatpants, and I gave them like kind of a saw blade cut when I went around and they were made out of red. They were red sweatpants. I took, instead of just cutting them off, I gave them a little saw blade, almost like a Homer Simpson or the Bart Simpson little saw blade, so around the legs. And I've done that. I did that back in I think it was probably around the same time that my wife and I first met. And I still wear those right now to this day. Those are my going outside. If she's in the comments, she's going to say, yes, I wish they would die, because they're now they're grease stained. I tore a hole in them. And, but somehow I know that old stretch band is still hanging on. Let's hear it for that stretch band. Big Bell Bottoms. Bill. I'm going to tell you something. Bill Boyer that's in the comments here. That's a good dude, man. He's always in the comments. He's watching all the videos, and he's getting them. He's sharing information. And I got to give that dude 2 big old thumbs up and a big salty read, because I'm always seeing him in the comments, and I love it. And it's good because I've seen him actually jump over on other people's channels to get the word out about where people are going and what's going on. So he's really keeping things stuck together, man. I watch all that stuff, by the way. I see what these commenters do, because unlike most YouTubers who are so huge that they don't have time, I do my best to read comments. And now we're running 3 channels, and I'm doing my best to keep up with all those. If I miss a few, please don't think I just looked at it and was like, I'll try my best. I really do.
Well, I've been doing the same thing with the comments. I can't see when they come across because, I'm the guest on here, so to speak. But, when the people go onto my videos on my channel, I try to answer everybody. I try to go back sometimes 4 or 5 days later and still even see if they need to respond. I mean, maybe one day I'll be too big to be able to answer, 20 pages of stuff, but I doubt that much. It's just the point of, I think all of us are pretty much out there, just not for ourselves, because we're not getting paid for this. We're doing this because we want to help our country.
I'm running a demonetized channel right now. I'm trying to, now don't get me wrong, on my Mechanican channel, I want to get it to 1,000 subscribers and try to build it, make a little money off of it, but I'm not trying to break the bank, but I would like to compensate, because this does take a lot of time, and when I've got cars working on in here, so to kind of even it out when I can make a little bit. And there's nothing, if anybody's out here, we're capitalism. If it's a fair market, I don't believe in price gouging, but I believe hard work deserves somewhat of a compensation, but anyhow, long story short, I'm just glad the people are out here, and I'm going to do this as long as I can. And I don't mean like when I get bored with it or anything. I'm talking about like for real, as long as I can. It's no joke. Yeah.
I'll be here until I can get back to America. And when I get back to America, I'm going to be boots on the ground, as they say.
Hey, you should like move to North Carolina. We could all hang out and stuff. Yeah.
Hey, I'm wide open. I've got, like I said, they took everything from me. I've got no gimmies. Of course, Florida was my life down there, most of my life. In Florida, I do like the warm temperatures.
Florida is the tits. He got Ron DeSantis down there. And, we haven't heard anything out of Disney. Of course, that stuff hasn't finalized, but he said all that legislation in place stripped them all of their special rights.
Well,
I think Disney's being smart. They're shutting up.
The reason you haven't heard anything from Disney is because they've lost their ass from the last 2 Marvel movies that came out that sucked.
Yeah. I'm glad. That's America.
Plus being down for 6 months for the COVID.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, they made a lot of some were good decisions at the time, but then there were bad decisions made. I mean, I don't.
What's the title of that video you want me to find?
The one where the lady is fussing out the BLM people for
yeah.
It's on Gateway Pundit. I don't. You could. I'll try to find it.
Anyway, I don't.
Give me. I'm answering a commenter here. Yeah, I'm doing a terrible job at typing. I can't type on these phones. That's how I know my age. I cannot type on these phones. Like if I want to do a 6-letter word, it'll take me probably 25 letters to get that 6-letter word out, because as many times I got to hit backspace and redo it because my stupid finger doesn't hit the right button, or the Chinese Communist Party has taken over my phone and I'm hitting the right key, but it's sending the wrong letter just to make my life hard and add stress to try to help hold the system down.
Well, with mine, because I type in English and my cell phone is in Portuguese, I'll type out 3 or 4 words and it comes, in other words, if I type out the word now, it'll put the letters MES in there. In other words, it'll come out in Portuguese words. And I have to go back over them and change letters and words.
That's the autocorrect doing that.
Yeah, I know. It drives me crazy.
Oh, autocorrect mess you up. You'll be trying to send like a nice happy message to your wife, like, "Oh, babe, I hope your day's going well. I love you very much." It'll come out with it'll be like, "Oh, gay, cooter face, go butts." So I'm like, "Look, no, it's already sent. It's too late." I'm like, "What?" And then I had to do a whole big thing about how that didn't even was supposed to look like that. Yeah, autocorrect.
I found it.
Yeah, I see that. I'm talking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because you guys are celebrating his life.
It was a terror. I'm sure it was a terror.
Not okay.
You're alive.
Shut up. You guys need to just let it go. Grief in silence. This is not okay. This is not a George Floyd situation. George Floyd was unarmed. He was unarmed.
You're alive.
That's messed up.
My kids have to deal with this and probably have a mental illness now because they almost lost their life. There's bullet holes in my kitchen because he sat in the fucking hallway watching my move. I wish it never happened either. That I don't have a place to call home. I can't sleep that night.
She's obviously going through a moment.
This is not okay.
This is what they want to show on the TV. She's obviously going through a moment.
This is not okay. Just go home. Go home. There's none of you guys knocked on that man's door to check his health.
Shut up. Shut up. You're
No, you guys did not come. He did not. You guys did not come and visit this
it's like at some point in time, you know what's funny is like some of those people are kind of like, damn, okay, all right, she's got a pretty big point there. And then some of them were like, you know, are they paid operatives to be over there? Because one guy that was standing in front of all the cameras was like, he was bound and determined to keep doing what he was doing. Like, you know, how can you even justify? She's like, you know, you can grieve, you know, if you want to go somewhere else and grieve, but not in front of the place where all this happened. And you know, like she said, the kids are seeing that. Why is it happening? And oh man, that's just. And then, you know what the funny thing is? It's like I think there was just one black guy, and the rest of them were all white dudes out there running around. What's up with that? For BLM, that's protested.
Yeah, well, they're probably Antifa.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They're operatives. They're being paid to do this.
Yeah,
they need to be disbanded.
Well,
government needs to do it.
Somehow or another, through all this, nobody can figure out who and where the money's going. Nobody's paying any taxes, and nobody's doing anything about it. So that goes to show you right there, it's coming straight out of the Biden administration. Bam.
Yeah. Well, guys, if y'all don't have anything else to talk about, we'll go ahead and end the show.
Hold on, let me do a shameless plug in the comments for my Rumble channel right quick. Because, you know, yeah, and everything and all. Hey, y'all, I'm going to put this comment. I mean, I'm going to put this link in there. And this is to my Rumble channel. Now, I will look like I don't know what I'm doing because I'm still learning every day. Joe Biden has taught me how to use a computer. I'm telling you what. Ain't that something else that this dude over here, I am not. People says, Will's using a computer, and all my friends just think it's like looking at a spaceship when they see me use a computer because I was so not wanting a computer. I didn't want to mess with a computer. I had people messing with a cell phone like, hey, look at that messing with that cell phone. And now look at me. But it's only thing is Joe Biden did that. So you want to go and I got to remember we're not on Rumble, but you want to go and do what you did in 2020.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, do y'all want to just go to Rumble and Odyssey and
no, because it's like I got a vehicle and I've got to finish up with a water leak. And I really need to do that. It's like it's a simple fix, but it's just hard to get to where I got to get my hands in there. But I'm gonna try to knock it out tonight because I have a big old parking lot full of vehicles out there. It is like, my goodness. And then there's more coming in Monday, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining so far as having to work, but that's why there's an exclamation point behind my name. We'll fix it on my new YouTube channel that I started. If you want to give me a sub over there, I put a link in there earlier. Another shameless plug. That's why the exclamation point's there, because they're like, Will, fix my car.
Well, before we go, John, go ahead and do a shameless plug for your channel.
Okay, shameless plug. Well, I would appreciate anybody who wants to come over to An American in Exile channel to subscribe. I could use them. I'm approaching 700 now. And, like to make it to 1,000 and see what happens. I'd like to get to 1,000 before I get my last strike. Yeah. I guess that's pretty much the battle right there. But
I'm going to put your link in the comment section right here so they can check it out. I'm going to put your link in here. So if they want to watch it, if they want to check it out, they can. I'm just working as fast as for a little.
Pretty much nowadays, I'm pretty heavy on
guys.
Getting my will.
All their links are down in the description area. I don't know why he's throwing them in the comments, but hey, whatever. They're all description area.
You know, you can at least give me positive encouragement. You're over there like, look at that kid over there flopping around.
I'm sorry. I'm seeing you mess with that phone. It's like watching a monkey fuck a football. I mean, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's like this. It's like, what the?
What Dina's in here?
2 points. That was a 2-point conversion.
Speaking of conversion,
I was like, you want me to go through this damn computer and help you type that crap in?
Dude, y'all could have been here whenever Matt was trying to teach me how to use the OBS. And he was already aggravated because he was having to work with other stuff too. And I'm like, I could tell. And he's trying to be all nice. Because Matt, whenever we got put together by Michael, and Michael's like, okay, here's Matt and here's Will, and Matt's like, he's trying to be cool because he doesn't really know us and stuff, man. So he's like trying to keep, and I can see his poor little face turning red. And he's getting all aggravated. And I was like, Matt, let's just stop now. We'll figure this out later. And but it was fun. Matt had a heck of a road.
Well, the thing is, I'm trying to teach you how to use it, and we're using Zoom. The thing is, my I'm on the camera on Zoom. I can't show you on my camera on OBS because it's already being used by Zoom. That's what was irritating me the whole time. And then not only that, your OBS is actually on a laptop and mine is on a desktop, so it's going to be set up a little differently, and there's going to be a little different differences to it. And I was just like this. It was getting a little frustrating for me, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, no, it was. You were a little bit frustrated. It's not the word for it.
Oh, my dog's here. Come here. Little mutt. Oh, here's my other one.
How many you got over there?
It's a Pomsky.
Oh, it's about the size of ours. Ours stays outside. Ours is the dogs here in Brazil are street dogs.
Oh, really?
They go to the bathroom on the concrete. They on the middle of the street. They go wherever they want. It's entirely different. You know, there's no such thing as leashes down here.
Dude,
Cats are the same way.
There was a watching YouTube video down there. I don't know where it was at, but it was like in India or something. They don't have for sewage. They have these like where you take a crap, you flush your toilet, it goes down the hole. I don't know if you got a toilet or not, but they goes to.
Yeah, I do. Believe it or not, I do, William.
No, not you. I'm talking about them people. Are you sitting on the toilet right now? I mean, are we on?
Hey, I filmed a whole episode of Blue Collar Talk on the toilet.
Yep. And as long as you sat there on the toilet, if you're on the toilet now, John, you're going to have one hell of a ring around. You know how you get the toilet bowl ring?
Well, yeah, but wait a minute. Here in Brazil, it's like the rest of Central and South America, all the way from Mexico, all the way down to the tip. You don't flush toilet paper down the toilet. I repeat, you do not. If you stay in I can't remember the name of the hotel in Rio de Janeiro, it's like $5,000 for a suite. You don't flush toilet paper down the toilet. You put it into a basket next to it. That's right, a basket.
And then you take your little dog and you let him run loose, and he goes in there, gets all that shitty toilet paper out, and eats it all up, then licks you on the face.
It's unbelievable.
Out the side of his mouth, like, hey, the Tampax was in there too.
My wife, she can't hear me right now. Hopefully, my wife hates it. I flush it all down the toilet. I can't help it. I have for years, and I'm waiting, hopefully, that I don't plug up the system.
What'll happen is there's a guy that's keeping all that. And he's going to come back in like another couple. I see what you've been doing. We've been building a case. Bag full of used kitty talk.
Do you have city sewage, or is it
only part of our little town has it? Ours has. I'm in central area. We have. It's not a water sewage treatment plant. It goes into some kind of a drainage area. But when you drive by it, you really don't smell it because there's not much. There's no wind currents here.
Yeah,
because we're in the mountains.
That's where all the wind are.
But the other parts of the city, or I can't even call it city, of the town, they go directly into the small little river that flows through it, and that ends up going down the line.
Why would I kiss the dog, man?
But this talking about with a Tampax and a toilet paper eating dog. It just took a little bit for the comment to pop up. That was from a few minutes ago. Yeah.
But I'm still going to make one of these days a video from the four-way stops that are not four-way stops. In other words, see if we can pick out a time when we get a traffic accident.
Oh, yeah, that'd be something to do. You can sit down there. I don't drink or anything, but if you drink beer, you can sit down there with a lawn chair and just watch the intersection for entertainment.
People do sit out in the sidewalks out front of their stores and whatever. That's what people do. It's cooler out there.
It's like watching a NASCAR race. You want to hope you're like, oh, come on, Rick. Come on, Rick. I want to see a bunch of cars.
There's certain areas that people do look for it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and end this. Check.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you so much. Thank you, Matt, for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Did you put his link in the
I put his link in there.
Okay.
His link.
I put his link.
Did you put the link? Did you put the link in there?
I put his link in there.
All right.
I had this dude to be like, I'm old. I'd be like, you're mold? He said, no, I'm old. I said, mold? He said, no, I'm old.
All right, guys. Hopefully we don't get banned after this. See y'all later.
No, hey, Cindy, we're gonna keep doing it as long as we can. We can. Yes, we will. Bye,
Peace.
sweetheart. Love you guys. Bye.